Hi, Informatics. Dr. Ed here. Hope you're all doing well. Just want to show you a little bit of the winter storm here in Vermont. There's so much snow covering the roads, and driving is very difficult. Schools are closed. So just be careful about location. That's what I keep saying whenever you're choosing a program or want to do an observership, and see if you're happy or okay dealing with this kind of a weather. Anyway, let's get to today's topic, which is the letter of intent. Again, a lot of questions come about in different forums. Is the letter of intent helpful or not? And I found this one study which I thought was very interesting, and I want to share those findings with you. So let's look at that paper right now. Okay. Letter of intent, also known as a love letter, is it harmful or helpful? What's the evidence? So this is the paper. It's from 2014, and it's freely available, free to download, so you can check it out. I have the link here. And what was done, this study was out of Kaiser Permanente internal medicine residency program, which had 40 residents in each class. And in 2009, 2010, and 2010 and 11, they looked at, so if that's the applicant, not every applicant is a Homer Simpson, and not every program director is a Mr. Burns, but what was done in this study is all the communication between the applicants and the program director was studied and analyzed. So there were 470 interviewed applicants in the 2 years of interviewing, predominantly US uh, seniors interviewed there, 425 out of the 470. It said 25, the other 45 or so were non-US allopaths, so that might still include DO, US medical students, or plus or and might also include IMGs. It was not very clearly described. 1/3 of the applicants were from highly ranked US medical school, that is in the top 20 ranking by US News, and about half had step 1 score more than 220. Now let's look at this. So the outcome is, what is the likelihood of being ranked in the top 2 quartiles? So if a program has a rank order list of, say, 60, then what are the chances that the applicant is going to land in the top 30 positions in that rank order list? So let's look at how many applicants sent any kind of correspondence, about 62%. Now this includes the thank you letters as well as the letters of intent. And you can see right away that sending any kind of correspondence was not associated with being ranked in the top 2 quartiles of this program. The timing, whether they sent it less than 30 days before the rank order list, which is the letter of intent, or was it more than 30 days, which might have also been the thank you letter. Again, you would see that, so 90 out of 470, so that's about 1/5, like less than 20% sent letters of intent. And again, there was no association between sending a thank you letter or a letter of intent with the likelihood of ranking high in the program's rank order list. Now, this is the most interesting finding, and so that's why I have a slide of its own. Now, let's look at the content of the correspondence. So that's like Homer Simpson's donut, you're number one. So the applicant is telling the program director, you're number one. And about 29 of the 470 said that. So that's less than 10%, maybe around 8%, 7 or 8%. And another 34 applicants said, you're one of my top choices. that is, that the applicant is telling the program director, I'm going to be ranking you high, and the others did not state any ranking intention. That is, they just said, I think I'm going to be a good fit in your program, and blah blah blah, like that. And again, there was no association or no significant differences between these three kinds of correspondence and the um, chance of ranking in the top 2 quartiles. Two other very interesting findings: of the 29 applicants who said they would rank the program first, 16 were ranked to match. Now, it's not because it doesn't say that they were ranked to match because they got that kind of communication, but maybe because of the rest of the application. And only 11 matched with the program. So if 16 applicants are telling the program, we're going to rank you number 1, and if only 11 match with that program, it's pretty clear that those other 5 did not rank the program number 1. So 5 of those 16, about 30%, may have misled the program. So that's very important finding. And lastly, in categorical applicants, 2 features were found to be associated with being ranked in the bottom 2 quartiles. So it's ranked low. And here it says sending correspondence that express intention to rank first or high. Now, this doesn't mean that sending a kind of a letter of intent to the program director saying that I'm going to rank you number 1 or I'm going to rank you high is going to put you at the bottom of the list. It might be that these applicants had maybe weaker credentials or weaker step 1 scores, or or the interview performance was not at par with the other applicants who were ranked high, and so it might be these other reasons why they were ranked low. Okay, and that's kind of the kind of one of the issues that comes up with these kind of observational studies. So limitation, the study was not designed to test whether post-interview communication, that is letter of intent or a thank you letter, increases the applicant's chance of matching. It was one specialty, internal medicine, one program in California, and there was no information on IMGs, whether IMGs, results would be different for IMGs. So the conclusion of this study was that there was no association between post-interview communication, letter of intent with chances of ranking high. What's my recommendation? Do not lie. So if you are not ranking a program number 1, do not send a letter to that program director saying that I'm going to rank you number 1. That's very clear. That's I think the message of this paper. If you're sending a letter of intent, follow the NRMP rule, and do not ask for a verbal or written commitment, because that's against the NRMP rules. So you saw this was a very interesting study, and it has all its limitations of an observational study. That is not really a survey, because they captured all the communications between the applicant and the program director. So I'm not totally opposed to applicants sending letter of intent. I would just say, be careful with the language that's being used. And like I said, do not lie. And only, if you're ranking that program number 1, you may choose to tell that program director, I'm going to rank you number 1, but otherwise don't mail out 10 programs saying I'm going to rank you number 1. That's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to put it in the comment box and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you very much. All the very best to you all.